Every marriage has 3 rings. The engagement ring, the wedding ring, and the bickering. We're here to settle the fights that don't matter and have no winner. It's the 3 Rings Podcast with another new argument.
Welcome once again to another episode of the 3 Rings Podcast. My name is Phil.
And I'm Lauren.
And we are...
married.
We are indeed married. We've been married for coming up on 4 years in just a couple of months here.
Wow, yeah, it is a couple months, isn't it?
Yep, October. Yeah, it's coming up quick. This year has flown by.
Oh, God, it feels like it's somehow flown by, but also like I don't know. It
Lasted
feels
forever.
like, it feels like November already.
A little bit, yeah.
It's like weird, like time truly has no meaning anymore.
Yeah. I notice that a lot more, like, as we start getting older, that time actually is just kind of a little more fluid, I guess. Like, do you remember when you were a kid and, like, you'd be, like, counting down the days to, like, you know, when it was going to be summertime or when, like, something was going to be released and, like, it would just seem like forever?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. I'm a big fan of countdowns even as an adult, so, like, I feel like I'm always kind of counting down to something, but, like,
yeah.
just because it gives you something to look forward to, but yeah, I mean, kind of. It feels like, I think the thing is like when you're a kid, you're not, like, you don't have as much responsibility, so you're not as busy.
Yeah.
So as an adult, it goes by quicker because you're busy.
Yeah, that's fair.
Whereas, like, this year... it's like...
Well, I mean, I've kind of been in that boat of, like, I've been so busy with different things that it's like, holy shit, like, it's already July. Like,
yeah,
you know, like, we're already halfway through the year. Like,
I feel like we kind of, like, missed out on part of the year, though. Like, it's like part of this year didn't even feel real. So, like,
Well, I think, like, everything that should have happened in, like, April and May... like, is just being shifted. So I feel like we're going to go through all of that and it's going to be fall.
We hope
just gonna
it's being shifted.
Well, yeah. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting second half of the year here.
I have a feeling that we're, like, quickly coming upon another shutdown. This is my prediction, at least. So, like, if we're still doing stuff in August, like, I will be surprised.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just need them to make it so that I can get to my August hair appointment. That's really...
I just got my haircut, so I'm feeling good.
Well, I had to cancel my hair appointment that was, like, this coming week because it was at a weird time.
Yeah.
And I just started a new job, so I didn't want to, like, take time out of my new job to go get my hair cut, especially in the second week that I've been there. And then, I had an appointment, I think it's like for August 22nd or something. So I'm like, really, it's going to be.
Okay. Well, yikes.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, wishing you the best of luck.
Thank you.
And wishing everybody the best of luck with everything that's going on in everyone else's lives, wherever
Stay
you happen to be
safe.
at. Yeah, just be smart, be safe. We're not going to get into all of that because we're here to have fun and we're here to talk about things that don't matter because that's the entire purpose of this podcast. So we could talk about things that do matter, like, you know, should you be wearing a face mask or, like, maintaining such, like, we could talk about all that stuff, but
we don't want to.
No, we don't want to. We're here to have fun. So this week we're actually going to be talking about whether it's better to go out to eat or if it's better to stay in and cook for yourself.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we do like to go out to eat. So, I mean, my stance is... I mean, I guess my question is, are we phrasing this from, like, should we go out to eat every day? Or is this like a, give me context here.
I think more of a...
multiple times a week?
So, there's 7 days in a week. Uh-huh. So, what are you going to do 4 out of 7 of those days?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Kind of mentality. So, what are you going to do more? I mean, there's going to be times where, you know, you are forced one way or the other. I mean, like, there's kind of no getting around that sometimes. So, I mean, it's not a always like 100% you have to do this, but like what are you going to do
The majority of the
times?
time.
Or what do you want to do the majority of times, I should say, as well.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Well,
And you're talking about going out and sitting down at a restaurant.
yeah.
We're taking ordering in out of the equation.
I mean, ordering in kind of falls right in between, so I don't know about ordering
Okay.
in really.
We'll see where the conversation takes us.
I guess so. Well, before we go down that path, like I want to clear up the ordering in part. If we're ordering from somewhere that you could go and sit down at,
Okay.
like that, I guess would technically count. But like if you're ordering pizza in, like I feel like that's a gray area.
Okay. Okay.
You know?
I just think
But,
I think
I don't know.
when I was like writing my arguments for this, I was thinking more so like, did I make it or did I pay someone else to make it?
Yeah, I guess that's a better way of phrasing it.
So
then.
like I am even viewing like when I refer to like cooking at home, even doing stuff like HelloFresh, I'm counting that. Whereas I wouldn't count ordering Jets.
Wait.
Did I follow a recipe and make the meal?
That counts as staying in.
Yes.
And eating in. Okay. If you paid
Someone
for
else and it
prepared
came
food.
to me the way I was just all I had to do was like walk to the couch and start eating.
Yeah. So you paid somebody for an already prepared thing. You
Yes.
didn't have to do any work. So
Right.
that's the criteria?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Now that we have that settled.
Okay.
That's what we're going to be debating.
Do you want to go first?
Sure. I'll go
Okay.
first because I am a very big proponent of just eating out. Because
Which,
I am
like-
incredibly lazy.
Now that you've said this whole like 4 out of 7 days a week thing, like I'm a little alarmed.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to that. My main 3 points that I'll hit on. There's no cleanup, but I mean, if you order in like delivery, since we've now added this into it, you basically just have to throw things away. So I mean, that's
Or
a little bit different.
yeah,
Or like maybe
putting
a fork.
plate in the washing
if
machine.
if that.
Yeah. Okay.
So no cleanup. You get to try new things. And my third point, just the overall experience of going out to eat. So those are going to be the main things that I touch on. But what's going to be your counter argument here? I
I'm
think
sure
we know
you
it.
know. I'm sure you know what my
Yeah.
first one is going to be. It's expensive,
Yep.
and yeah, especially 4 days a week. Jesus.
All right.
2, it's healthier to stay in and eat a home cooked meal. And 3, cooking from scratch is actually a dying art.
Okay. I guess that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to present your argument first, or do you want me to?
I'll go first. It's
All
fine. Okay, so I guess this should not come as a surprise to anyone. If it does, then like I've got like I'm about to deliver some very bad news for you. But studies have shown that ordering in is like it's very expensive. So the average.
What?
You scared me. It startled me a little bit.
Oh God.
Well, it doesn't help. You're rubbing your eye right now, and like.
Sorry. Bad allergies. Bad allergies.
Okay,
Sorry.
so then when you like make an exclamation, yeah, I'm like Jesus. Oh
Sorry,
no.
sorry.
Okay, so the average household spends about $3,000, just over $3,000 a year on dining out. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports. So,
Okay.
while eating out or ordering in is convenient, you lose a lot of money. So like they pose an example. So like say you bought lunch every day, every work day.
Okay.
You spend on average $10 a meal,
Yeah.
which comes out to $2,500 a year. So, but if you make your own lunch, on average, you spend about $6.30 when you buy or when you make something and you prepare it at home.
All right. So just about half.
Yeah. So, they also told this story about a couple in 2016 that they reviewed their credit card statements and found that they had spent $30,000 that year on eating out. That's $82 a day for their family of 3. So they must have not they must have been eating out 3 meals a day.
Yeah, that's eating out every single meal every single day, which that can be alarming.
Oh yeah,
I think.
But I mean,
for this argument, I feel like we're more talking about like just like going out for dinner.
But still, $3,000 a year. That's a vacation.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money.
I'm not here to argue the fact that it's more expensive than that going out is more expensive than that.
You're literally eating your money.
Well, either way, you're eating your money. It's just how much of your money you're eating.
I'd rather eat less money.
I mean, to each their own, but I mean, all right. Point number 1.
Okay,
more expensive, I get it.
Number 2, it's healthier. So
maybe.
Some studies suggest that people who cook more often, rather than having takeout or eating out, have an overall healthier diet because restaurant meals typically have higher amounts of like sodium and saturated fat and total fat and overall calories than home cooked meals because they're having to use more processed foods because it's cheaper for them. That's how they make a profit, is using cheaper processed foods, which have higher amounts of sodium and
salt makes things taste better. So
and saturated fat. So when you use fresh ingredients or get them shipped to your door, like through HelloFresh or whatever the case may be, you know exactly what's going in your food.
Yeah.
And if you are like counting calories, you know exactly the caloric intake that you're getting from the food that you're making at home.
Well, they'll still. Like at different restaurants, if you go online, you can look at their menu and like they'll have that listed. A lot of places have started doing more nutritional info on their meals. Some of it, is going to be a little different.
Yeah, like
it, they might put a little bit more salt in because it's just like a pinch. They're not sitting there measuring things out.
Well, so they tell you the caloric value of it, but they don't tell you like what a serving size is.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I mean, this is like studies have shown that this is the case. That you eat healthier when you're making stuff at home because you're using fresher ingredients as opposed to like I said, the processed foods that you are fed at restaurants. Yeah. And you can better like maintain portion control.
Yeah.
Plus, like too, you just think about it from like a environmental standpoint too. Like food waste is a lot higher if you go out to eat because they are throwing away more food than if you do eat at home, where it's easier to repurpose things.
Yeah.
You don't like leftovers, though, so that's like...
I don't. I just try to finish the meal in one sitting.
Yeah, which is a problem in and of itself. So then, okay, my third point. Cooking from scratch is actually, like, dying out. People... Like the millennials are not doing it nearly as much as what they used to. So, in 2013, the Nutrition Journal published a study that reported that in 1965, between 88 and 95% of meals were prepared at home, whereas in 2007, between 65 and 72% were. So that's a 60% drop at best, a 30% drop at worst.
Okay, that's a little unfair, though, when you think about it, because when you think back into the 60s...
Well, yeah, you had someone who was staying home more than likely.
Yeah, you could afford to raise an entire family on one income. Things didn't cost as much. Like, it was a completely different time. One person could work and take care of an entire family versus now where, like, you'll be lucky if you can have 2 people working full time and still make ends meet.
Right.
Like, it is a very different time.
That study, like they did in the study, acknowledge, like I didn't put it in the notes, but they did go on to acknowledge, like, shifts in gender roles play a really large role in that drop, because you are having more women out in the workforce, and traditionally women were the ones that were at home cooking the meals.
Yeah.
But still, it just goes to show that it is, I mean, cooking from scratch is kind of dying out. So if we want to, like, keep that, like, that's culturally, food and meal times are very, very important. So, like, if you want to keep that going, then you still have to, like, cook. And plus, like, one of your points was that you get to try new things. You can try new things cooking at home and develop a new skill. Like, that's good for you.
Yeah.
It's good for you mentally.
I understand it's a good thing to be able to know how to, like, cook a meal at home. And, I get that. But, again, like, if you're pushing the point that more people are steering away from that, it's because there isn't enough time to get it done, or there isn't enough time to deal with all that. It's easier to go out.
It is easier.
All of that. And,
yes. I'm not saying, I'm just saying that I'm trying to, the point I'm making is that cooking's important. It's important for our culture. Meal times are very important. Like, I remember when I was in college, we did, like, in that multicultural communications course that we did, they discussed, like, how, like, one of the, like, central ways that culture is passed on is through meals. And, like, if cooking dies out as an art form, we're not going to have that. Like, what are we going to pass on to our kids? Like, how to order from Postmates? Like, that's kind of shitty.
I mean, they'll figure it out. You don't even need to pass that down. Like, it's just an app. Like, it's on your phone, fucker. Like, order, like, dinner for the family.
I mean, and two, like, I remember, like, you have meals that you think of that your parents made for you that are, like, important to you because there's, like, memories around them. And we all have that. So that's important. Like, you want those, like, I think, and it's, like, too, it's good for you mentally to be developing new skills like that,
I think you're missing my point of, like, I'm not saying, like, completely get rid of
4
cooking.
times a week, though. It doesn't leave a lot of time to, like, practice.
Again, if given the option, I'm going to choose that I'd rather go out. That's because that's just my opinion. Should everybody know how to cook a few meals from scratch? Yes. Should you be able to know how to follow a recipe and be able to cook something that's in front of you? Yes. Like, people should know how to do that. Like, but given the option, I would rather go out or order something in because, again, I am lazy and it's easier.
But, like, I find it so much more satisfying to, like, make something. You know what I mean? Like, there's, like, a level of satisfaction that you get from that you don't.
Well, does that
out.
level of satisfaction combined with the level of dissatisfaction of all of the cleanup and everything else that you have to do, like, does that balance out to going out?
Not everybody hates doing dishes as much as you do.
I fucking despise it. So that's why point number 1 for me is there's no cleanup. There is, like, you don't have to sit there and do dishes. You don't have to deal with preparing the food. Like, be like, all right, take all of these ingredients that you just went and bought. Now you're going to dice up everything, or you're going to slice these. Like, there's a lot that goes into making it, and it's very time consuming. Like, most of these meals, like, even, like, the meals that we get from, like, HelloFresh or Blue Apron or whatever fucking service we use now, I don't even know anymore. But even with those, it'll be like, okay, prep time is going to be 20 minutes, which is always super generous. It's usually longer.
It does not take me. It takes you longer. It does not take me longer.
That's weird. I like having everything prepared before I start making it, though, because it'll be like. I do
too, but it doesn't take me a half hour to prep.
I don't know. Maybe my timing's off, but, like, all that prep time and then the cook time, and then it's like, okay, now I can eat, and then I have to deal with doing all the dishes afterwards. Like, it's a process, and if you go out or you just order in, like, you don't have to deal with any of that. Like, you can use that time to complete any other tasks that you need to, or to do nothing, which is one of my favorite things to do. So that is my main point. There's just no cleanup, which I like. My second point, trying new things. Yes, to your point, you can try new things if you're eating at home, but what is the likelihood that you're going to do that what's the likelihood that you're going to get something that you don't know how to prepare or whether you're even going to like it?
I'm literally doing that for dinner tonight. I'm making something that I've never made before tonight for dinner. I don't know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if I'm even going to make it that well.
See, that to me just sounds dangerous.
What do you mean
incredibly dangerous to me.
What do you mean dangerous?
I'm just saying, like, if I'm gonna cook,
dangerous.
If I'm going to cook at home, I want to make sure that I'm cooking something I know how to actually do.
But like, how do you learn? If you don't try to do new stuff, how do you learn?
Well, if I want to try something new, I don't want my first experience of trying something new to be at home. I'd like to know, like, okay, I like this. This is what the end product will probably look like. This is what I need to get to, kind of deal. By the look on your face, you're not following me.
I'm following you. I understand. I just don't agree. Like what is the difference if you make it at home and you don't like it versus if you order it out and you don't like it?
You can try it.
At least if I'm making it at home, my points showed that if I'm making it at home and I don't like it, at least I spent $6 instead of $10 on not liking it.
I don't know about that.
Plus, if you make it at home, most things, you could use, leftovers to make other things. So, I can turn it into something I like.
I don't know about that.
What do you mean you don't know about that?
I'm saying, if I'm going to try something and I want to experience something new, I think going out is the better option. I don't think that the cost is going to be the deciding factor. And plus, if you want to try different styles of food, if you want to experience having sushi for the first time or having
I'm not gonna try and make Indian for someone who's never had Indian food for the first time. That's not what I'm saying.
But that's kind of my thing though, is so how can you argue that you could just make it at home? It's if you don't know how to make it at home, you can experience different cultures and different things that you would never have tried or wouldn't attempt to make at home by going out. So if you want to be a little more experimental or you want to be more adventurous, that's the better option, as opposed to finding the recipe and saying I'll just make this at home, because instead of spending $20 going out, it's only going to cost me $12 to get all these ingredients and do it at home. I feel
Continue.
All right. And then my third point, just the overall experience. And you talk about there's that satisfaction of making a meal from scratch at home, but I still say that level of satisfaction combined with the dissatisfaction of everything else that goes into making a meal at home, I feel like those kind of balance each other out a little bit.
But if I make stuff at home, I don't have to leave and no one has to come. So that is a better experience for me.
You don't like going out
I do, but not 4 times a week.
Maybe
once a week.
I'm not saying we're going out somewhere where it's got to be formal attire.
It's still expensive, and I still don't want to go out 4 times a week. I like to be home.
And then it's ordering in then. But
I don't want to deal with people either.
Oh my God. The overall experience of eating out, according to this article written by Oliver Rust called "Should We Delight the Customer" for the Journal of the Academy of Marketing Science in 2000, in it, he agrees with the idea that eating at a restaurant can create exciting experiences, but that it also heightens expectations for the next meal out because of the memories associated with the previous experience. That can result in an increased excitement to eat out because the individual wants to relive or recreate positive experiences that they had outside the home at a restaurant.
Opinion.
You're gonna tell me that going out to eat and having a really good meal out doesn't make you excited to go back to that place or go somewhere else?
1 time a week, not 4. 4. You said 4 times a week.
You don't have to go to the same place 4 times.
I don't want to go anywhere 4 times a week.
I like that you say this like we haven't done this.
No, because I wanted to. Out of necessity, maybe.
You're not doing a very good job of countering this argument.
I think I've done a great job
No.
of countering. How do you argue with it's more expensive, it's worse for you, and I want to stay home?
It's the same argument that I have for plenty of things. Like, what's worth more to you, your time or money?
I don't mind spending the time, though.
I'm the exact opposite. I like having my time for doing whatever the hell I want to do, even
But
if
like,
it's
isn't
doing
it
nothing.
nice? Like when we the nights that we cook together. Like that's nice. It's like a shared activity.
Isn't it nice when we have a nice dinner out?
Jesus.
I'm just saying, but you get those positive experiences, and I mean, even right now, things being strange with COVID and all of that. I mean, it's making it a little more difficult if you want to go out anywhere. Most places will be outside, but I mean, you still get a positive experience through that. And even if you're talking about going out, and being with company, like that's always an enjoyable experience as opposed to just being home alone cooking
I will
something.
say it does stress me out a little bit to have people over and cook for them unless I know them really well.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like to be home.
I
I like to
understand
be
you.
with my stuff.
I get that. I'm not arguing the fact that I enjoy being home more than I enjoy being out too. I mean, that's just the kind of people that we are.
Home, I can make literally anything I want. I can make literally anything I want.
But yeah, I mean, you can go out somewhere and order anything you want.
Yeah,
or you can go online and you can order something in. How is that more of a process than making a meal?
You have to get ready to go. You have to put on real clothes. You have to
the general train of thought right now.
You have to deal with you have to talk to people. You have to
Hardly.
Unless you're an asshole, you don't just sit there silently when the waiter comes over.
Well, no, you have to actually talk to somebody to order your food.
I just want
You want to seriously, you want to say that the maybe at most 50 words that you will say to a waiter in a dining out experience
It's not worth it.
is not worth it. And I like that you're taking the point of view. It's you got to get ready to go and actually be out. What the fuck were you what? Most of what I think about is okay, this is mainly a focus on going out for dinner or eating dinner at home. That is usually this argument is mainly for that.
Yeah.
So on a normal day, you're going to get up, you're going to get ready for the day.
Yeah,
you're going to get dressed.
Okay,
so you're already pretty much there.
I mean way earlier than this. But by the time you get home and are ready to go out, I'm so sick of wearing a bra.
I mean, okay, I mean but you're turning this into a big thing of it's like you just rolled out of bed at 6 o'clock at night, and it's I gotta do all of this.
Sometimes I'm not sometimes I'm work ready, but I'm not going out ready. You know what I mean?
No, I don't. I don't know the difference.
It's two different levels of ready.
For
a girl, it is I don't know, and I
think you're overthinking that too much.
No, I'm not. I don't want to go out.
I
don't want to be out right now.
Again, I think that you're way overthinking the concept of being ready to go out. But that's just me. But we need to move on because you're just.
Yeah, we've got to get home because I'm making dinner.
Yeah, this is 1 out of 7. Let's see how the other 6 go.
We're eating at home. I bought groceries today. I have a plan.
Okay, well, we went and got McDonald's earlier, so.
Jesus. Okay. All right. We would love for you to weigh in and tell Phil why he's wrong.
Please. More people are going to take my side on this. More people would want to go out more.
I really don't think. I know your mom's on my side.
Of course my mom is on your side. Why would my mom not be on your side? Ever. In literally any argument.
If you want to weigh in, and please do, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram